caviar, fish, not rock, who's gaming?
What's up, folks? Welcome to Hit Point Gaming's third podcast. Today we're going to be talking about these guys' trips to Japan, but as always, we're going to first start off on what it is that we've been up to recently. So me personally, I've been playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I want to say it's kind of a crappy experience, but it is fun with like multiple people. That I will say. Besides that, same old things, man. Elite. Started playing a little Final Fantasy 14. I retired from Street Fighter 5 again. Started playing 4.
Again, yeah.
Again.
I'm getting so tired of that game. And besides that, that is really it. It's been pretty boring for me. What about you, Chris?
Well, I've been playing some Rampage Knights, which is like an indie beat-em-up game. That's pretty fun. It's like 2 players online co-op, and it's got like a roguelike kind of thing to it. I should be doing a review for it soon, so that was really cool. We're back to Heroes of the Storm, MOBA game, because they released like a bunch of new stuff, and they're trying to get more people back in like this new 2.0 version. Okay. But it's fun. There's some new maps. It's pretty cool.
I saw the Overwatch characters are in it now, right?
Yeah, they've added a lot more of them.
It's Blizzard?
Yeah, it's Blizzard.
Oh, yeah.
So it's free to play, and they've just been like adding more and more stuff to it. They added like the loot crates from Overwatch into it. So it's fun because there's like more gear to get. Japan. And I just finished Spartan Race, but we kind of talked about that in the other thing.
Awesome. So you guys, you should definitely try to get in touch with like Bobby and them, because I know he has a team of guys that he plays Heroes of the Storm all the time.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So you guys should totally get together and go MLG and win millions of Blizzard dollars.
I'm all right, thanks.
All right, Corey, what about you, man?
So since we came back from Japan, let's see. Games. Zelda's always on the list now. I picked up Mario Kart, which we'll talk about later. The Switch is really good. But in the board game realm, we got back to Kingdom Death, which is good. We got another episode out the other day. So I'm glad viewers and fans appreciate that one. I did play this new game that I've been waiting for. It's called Rune Wars Miniatures. And it reminds me of Warhammer. I was a big Warhammer fan years ago when it was in its prime. And it incorporates this whole like X-Wing flight system. So it's more of like a simpler version of Warhammer. So I played my first game the other night with our buddy Gabe, and I really like it. So hopefully it grows and it turns into this big tournament scene that I'll be a part of. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to attempt one more time in my life to actually paint figures again.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
See if I have time. I got this whole new paint set. That's why I'm selling some of my board games to fund some other board games and painting supplies. So that's what I've been doing. And the one thing I want to point out, I've got an idea of a new board game series, or at least an episode that we're going to put out, and all 3 of us hopefully participate. It's going to be a Sherlock Holmes game, where I think it's Watson and Sherlock. And we're going to set it up pretty well with the way that we tape it, so all of our viewers can actually play along and try and solve the case by themselves.
I'm ready for that.
So I've got a pretty good idea, so stay tuned for that. And that should be out in, whenever we can get together, all of us. So
yeah, and timing, I have to admit, timing is tough for me right now with the baby. I can't always commit to just about anything. So it is, this episode of the podcast, I actually totally flubbed our original recording, and we tried to get together a couple times over the week to redo it, and it's just like I really could not do it. So I apologize for this late third podcast, but we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Corey, anything else?
No, that's it. I'm ready to talk about
Nihongo.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to hear from you guys. Let's see. Let's start with what you would consider. We'll save the best for last. Right?
Okay. Good.
So, what were your biggest disappointments? We'll start with Corey.
Okay. So Japan. Right off the bat, it was great. I had a wonderful experience. But let's get this out of the way first, because this is what our episode's about. Video games, board games. Our entire lives. Well, not entire life. Since middle school, high school, we've been talking about this trip. And we've always wanted to go to Japan. Now, years ago, before something called the internet and eBay it was this magical land that you could go to and get all of these anime figures, Dragon Ball episodes that they haven't appeared here in the US. You know, how many times did I see that same episodes of, Goku fighting, the Ginyu Force, right?
Yeah.
For years, and you're waiting for the new episode, and like they're already onto like GT in Japan. Like, wow, I wish I could go there and buy all these really cool all these cool things in the city called Akihabara.
Not
right?
to mention either, like they had Dragon Ball games on Super Nintendo.
Right?
Like Super Nintendo, where we didn't get one until PS1. We got what, Final Bout, I think it's called?
Final Bout.
So
right. So all these magical things. So this is what I was really looking forward to. And let me tell you, it is the biggest disappointment. Biggest disappointment. By the time we got there, we've already seen a few other arcades, and we'll jump into the arcades. I'll leave that up for Chris to go into it. But all the arcades were the same, and all the figures, they're overpriced, and I could just get them on eBay much cheaper. And I don't have to bring them back in my luggage. So that lost that whole nostalgia because we can just get everything now here. And I was really looking forward to maybe finding like some Switch. I don't know, anything for the Switch.
Maybe like custom colors or like a case,
anything.
a dope case.
Yeah, it could be like the Switch case with Japanese characters on it. I don't care what it said. It could say Switch, and I would have bought it. I didn't find one thing. That's what I was disappointed in. The actual gaming experience in Japan, lackluster.
Well, I think part of that would be just because in the time that we're in, everything is so accessible everywhere.
Agreed.
Everything is. I remember ordering stuff even for like my PSP, man. I was real excited when I found out that I could order stuff off PlayAsia and get like PSP games, that were Japanese because PSP was region free. So I got like the Tenchu games, I had gotten the Guilty Gear games, stuff like that. So now you got to figure though, maybe in a place like Akihabara where it's going to be the same, right, as everywhere else besides the text on the stores not being in English.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So it kind of stinks that you finally got to go there, and I'm going to go there at some point. And that the dream it's almost like it couldn't happen. It's almost like it couldn't happen because everybody, even video game consoles now and games, they release worldwide at the same time. Everything does. If you want to get the latest Dragon Ball episodes, whether it be, I don't even know what streaming service would have those, but like Crunchyroll, whatever, Netflix, it's all, everybody gets it. So it kind of stinks that happened at this point.
Yes.
Chris, what do you? Let's hear about these arcades over there.
Yeah, the arcades, like you were saying, we went to a few arcades before we went to Akihabara, so we kind of got like a taste of like, we were going somewhere. We're like, oh, there's an arcade. It's our first arcade. We got to go in it. Let's go. So we go in, and like the first floor is crane machines.
Like everything is crane.
The entire floor.
The whole thing. How many crane machines would you say?
30 maybe.
Okay.
But like they're big crane machines. Like they've got like electronic things like make waffles. They've got big plush dolls. They've got key rings and stickers and buttons. Everything in these crane machines. Like an entire floor of them.
Pretty cool. It sounds pretty cool right now, right? Yeah, okay. Sounds pretty cool. Keep going.
I mean, getting a waffle maker out of a crane machine sounds
pretty
awesome.
amazing. Yes. I mean, like, they're just... But it's a crane machine. And if you're from, I guess, the U.S. we're from Jersey, so we go down to, like, the boardwalk, and we know crane machines, no one wins unless it's, like, you are... Like, it's programmed every 75th person wins.
Right, just like... And it's funny you say that about the crane games being rigged because there's a game called Stacker. I don't know if anybody's ever played Stacker.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And everybody swears. There's so many people that swear that you can do it every time, but no one has like proof, right? And the way Stacker works is it's just like a bar. You have to stack things on top of each other. And my rhythm is incredible, by the way. I can get it every time, all the way up to the minor prize without missing one. And then you get to the major, and it's like I feel that I hit it, and it just goes boop off.
Nope.
You did not get it today, boy. So you can let's Sorry to interrupt, Chris. You can keep
No,
going.
no, it's all right. But with that, like, I even have a video. I'm trying to put it together soon. Corey's trying to win something in this crane machine. It's a big box, you know.
It's like a Star Wars figure.
Yeah, it's a big, like 12 inches by maybe like 10 inches. It's a big box.
A big figure.
And you can see there's like 2 poles, and it's spread between. It's on those 2 poles, just barely hanging on. You know, so here comes a crane, and it grabs around it, but then it just kind of lets go, and it moves it a little bit,
Classic.
and you're just like, yeah, you're just slowly picking it up and dropping it, moving it just a little bit every time, and it's $1 every time you play, or 100 yen, you know, so 90 cents.
Yeah.
So you put a couple bucks into it, and you're like, it's gotta go. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go.
And
then
it's rough because it's not like the crane games where we know it goes down, grabs it. Like the hardest part is just actually getting the item and then seeing it move, and then it drops it. No, every time, every $1, it's moving. It's moving a little bit.
You get a little taste.
It's almost there. Another $1. Nope.
And then, so, like, I think you were like $8 in.
Yeah.
You're like, forget this. We're walking away. So this figure is like barely hanging on, but it's been barely hanging on since we started, you know? So it hasn't moved really. We're like, all right, cool. You know, forget this. We'll go upstairs and we'll go do something else. We come back downstairs after doing whatever, and the figure is back to where it was. Now, I know we're not Indian in the cover here. Like, that thing didn't go back by itself. You know, they went back and put that back on the rods, like, to reset it, so that someone else wasn't $10 ahead of the game, kind of.
Yeah.
Yo, that's insane. That somebody's eyeing you down, seeing how far you move it, and then when you walk away, they go and move it back.
Yes.
That has got to be the
dirtiest,
shadiest, carny
You know what?
style thing.
How? Think about it. Wouldn't you want a job like that? Like if you were in high school and like this is one of your first jobs, whatever. That might be pretty cool. Like, sucker, reset it on somebody.
Yeah, but if you did that, I feel like that may be like a standard over there. If you did that here and somebody saw you do it, oh my god, they'd be so upset. Like,
yeah, like, I just went up to go get some more money so I can come back to my machine, and you reset that?
Oh my god, dude, they would be furious, absolutely furious. So tell us about the rest of the arcade.
All right. So first floor, you're done with that. You're done with these crappy crane machines, and that's the entire floor. So you go up to the second floor, and every arcade's kind of different. The second floor has more arcade games. Third game is more arcade games. Fourth game is more arcade games. So now we're all right. Well, cool. So I want to just kind of skip ahead. We've been in the first arcade. We saw some new games. Cool, because they're new to us. We haven't seen them in the States.
Right.
So where do we go? The mecca of video games, geek culture. The mecca of where everyone wants to go who's in video games. Akihabara. We run in, we go to the Gundam Cafe. It's pretty cool. We get some overpriced food, but whatever, you know, fun. You can see arcade. Go. Let's go. Let's do it.
Chris,
yes.
Remind me, what was in the first floor of that arcade?
Crane machines?
Crane machines, yeah.
Yes.
Of the Gundam arcade.
You know what? Name another arcade, Doug.
Sega.
Boom. Crane machines.
Crane machines.
30 crane machines. Next one. 30 crane machines.
The Taito one. Crane machines.
Yo, it's crazy because you figure, Taito has such an amazing back catalog of arcade games, and a lot of people don't know that about Taito is they died out pretty early. But if you get MAME or whatever, and you sort by Taito, they have some of the best games ever. Stuff that I've never played. Like, I couldn't believe the Taito. I'm like, I had no idea that Taito was his boss in the arcade. And for them to have the crane games, like, you figure, I mean, it's not over here. I guess it's not the way that I would do it. Like, I would have all the old school stuff on the first floor, and then the next floor you'd have like the new stuff. You know what I mean?
There was not one arcade that we've discovered in Japan that had that old school arcade cabinet.
No.
Any of those old games.
Right. Well, they had